Hi guys, welcome to our new lecture, Benefits of the Kubernetes. So we'll talk about the benefits of Kubernetes today lesson. Welcome to our channel, Arin Studios. This lesson will teach you the benefits of Kubernetes. The first benefit is that Kubernetes avoids manual intervention. Let us look at a day in the life of a DevOps engineer without Kubernetes to understand this. Let's assume that you are the DevOps engineer and your team has developed an application consisting of several Docker containers and you are on call for supporting that. Okay, now let's say that while you are sleeping at night, one instance of the application, say a container, just goes down. Monitoring will page you, of course, and you wake from your sleep. You investigate the problem and then you have determined that the container has died. So you have to fix this issue. So to do this manually, what you will be doing is you will be spinning up a new instances of a Docker container, and obviously it has got a new IP address, so you will have to update the DNS records. Then you will have to set up networking and service discovery, and you will have to run all the steps to make sure that everything is working fine. So this is a manual process. It looks a long term and it's also highly inconvenient to you. You have to do this at night. If you have Kubernetes, such manual intervention is not necessary. The Kubernetes control plane will detect this problem and can gracefully handle all of these tasks that you perform manually. And in this way, you really don't have to wake up at all. So how cool is that, right? Kubernetes will continuously work to make sure that your life is easy and ensure that the cluster's current state match this desired state you have to specifically, and it will in this way guard against any such failure. Since Kubernetes continuously takes action by implementing a control loop that reliability and quickly and repair the system and return to the desired state, it is called as a self-healing system. We also saw this in one of the previous lessons. So Kubernetes reduces the burden on DevOps and also improves the overall application. The second benefit is that Kubernetes enables application portability across different cloud environments. So if you consume cloud APIs directly in your applications, for example, if you write code to talk directly to the AWS APIs, Google APIs, or the Azure APIs in your application, what you will end up doing is that you will end up using several features that are specific to the cloud provider within your application. And as a result, it would make it hard to you to port your application to a different cloud provider or run it in a hybrid cloud environment. So by consuming the cloud provider APIs directly, what essentially has happened is that your application has become tightly coupled to the underlying cloud provider. If you build and deploy your application only using Kubernetes APIs and at the backend, if you let Kubernetes integrated with a cloud provider, your application can move between the various cloud environments easily because it is just talking to the Kubernetes API. So all you have to do is to spin up a new Kubernetes cluster in the cloud provider and send the declarative configuration of your application to this new cluster. Kubernetes in this way abstracts a cloud provider infrastructure by using several plugins, and in this way enables a multi-cloud architecture. Kubernetes knows how to create several infrastructure services on major cloud providers such as can create load balancers on AWS and persistent volumes and so on. So let's say, as shown in this animation, if you have a Kubernetes cluster deployed on each of the cloud providers as I show here, and if you have an application that is talking only to the Kubernetes APIs, you can move it from one cloud to another, or you can run it in a hybrid cloud environment quite easily. The third benefit of Kubernetes is that it enables easy application rollouts, scaling, and rollbacks. Kubernetes provides several API abstractions to make application rollouts easy. These API abstractions provide the ability to group container images developed by different application teams into one deployable unit. As you will see in the course, also Kubernetes API has built-in mechanisms to provide isolation, and your microservices interact with one another. Also, Kubernetes has built-in services to provide load balancing, persistent volumes naming, and service discovery. And using these capabilities, you can easily roll out microservices based application architectures. Scaling and application is also easy to implement because of the declarative nature of Kubernetes. For instance, if you want to scale a service upward, it's a simple matter of changing the number corresponding to the replicas in the configuration file. For instance, if you want to scale from, let's say, 2 or 3 instances, all you need to do is to make one single and simple change in the YAML file. Just change the replica count from 2 to 3 and Kubernetes will take care of doing the actual detailed steps. Now, how do you scale a cluster? Scaling your Kubernetes cluster is also straightforward and easy. This involves imaging a new worker node and joining it into the existing cluster to roll back software. All you have to do is to use the previous configuration file, and Kubernetes has the built-in ability to figure all the steps that it needs to do to drive the system to the desired state and roll back the software. So let's now summarize the key points regarding the benefits of Kubernetes. First is that it avoids manual intervention. Kubernetes is a self-healing system because it continuously takes actions to reliably and quickly repair the system and return it to the desired state. Kubernetes can enable application probability across the various cloud environment, and it supports the multi-cloud architecture. Kubernetes has built-in mechanism to enable easy application rollouts, scaling, and rollbacks. So now that you have to understand the benefits of Kubernetes, this is the lesson about the benefits of Kubernetes. And guys, please do share, like, and subscribe my channel and encourage our channel Rain Studios. Thank you guys.